Now going over to the political part podcast, you have Biden declares amnesty and a citizenship path for 500,000 illegal aliens and more to come. Now, this is perhaps one of the most controversial things he's done since she's been in office. It will get him a lot of votes because, again, a lot of these folks will end up voting. So in terms of moves on the political chessboard, and a lot of people do believe in open borders. I wonder if this will help them in the polls. Because again, one of the biggest issues that's hurting the United States right now is 8 to 12 illegal aliens crossing the border, which not just bad for national security. We have no idea who they are, where they're coming from, but also you're flooding the job market as well, or rather, the number of people who could prospectively work is increasing, but the number of job openings are remaining the same. So it's not helping in that regard. It's quite the antithesis. It's hurting that. Now, I have two posts I want to share with you. One was his first announced that it might be happening, and then one is it happening. And this is one of the most viral things I've covered all year. Now, first one comes from Western Lensman, who says, quote, "Today, NBC reports Biden mass amnesty seemed to officially be announced this week. Right, yesterday, NYP started blowing the whistle on how many illegals are given voter registration form in 49 states. It's happening fast." Now, again, I can hardly speak sometimes because I'm so inarticulate. And I appreciate those who are tuning in consistently, especially to click the subscribe button. I have a theory when I first started the show, couldn't really speak too well, and truth be told, I think it's because there's not a lot of subscribers. Now that I've gained more and more, I've increased my speaking acumen. Some might say it's just a modicum of improvement, but nevertheless, it is getting better. So I will attempt to reread that more articulately. So again, Western Lesbian says, quote, "Left. Today, NBC reports Biden mass amnesty scheme to be officially announced this week. Right. Yesterday, NYP story blowing whistle on how illegals are given voter registration forms in 49 states. It's happening fast," unquote. Took me a little bit, but I think I finally got there. Again, this is about 16 seconds long, and granted, like all men should, he did suit up, so this report is on point. And what she says.
And new this morning, multiple sources familiar with the White House's plans tell NBC News that President Biden is set to take executive action as early as Tuesday to protect hundreds of thousands of undocumented spouses of U.S. citizens from deportation.
And it did happen. Now, this news went viral earlier this week. Got 53.2 million views, only 23,000 likes. So not the best ratio, but still, that is quite a lot of views, to say the least. Some of the first comments, actually scrolling down more and more. He does a little chain here. Paul Zazupa says, "We've been saying illegals are voting in elections for many years. That's because they happen. Now Biden is increasing that exponentially. All the Democrat Party can do is cheat at elections." Getting 409 likes. Now it looks like a dude got a contrarian statement right off the bat. So this man is known as Humana. Of course, he has a hippie sign, or the peace sign, American flag, Ukrainian flag, American flag again, and blue wave in his profile. And he says, he can't spell properly. He says "we are," but he uses the letter R instead of the word R. He says, "We are our beliefs." Sounds awkward. Exposing lies. His hobby is suspending paid trolls. Try it out. And he's followed by many of the leftists that I follow. And again, more data the better. Life gets a little bit boring if you're in a little bit of an echo chamber. And he says, quote, "Folks, these people are knowingly lying to you. New York Post is owned by Rupert Murdoch, the same man who owns Fox News, which agreed to pay $787,500,000 for misleading its audience. Their reporting must be fact-checked." I got 649 likes. Now, that being said, don't get me started on those voting machines. Because, again, I won't say anything about a particular manufacturer which sued Fox News and they settled out of court, but I work in IT. Anything that's electronic has the propensity, it can be hacked. Because again, it's electronic. But nevertheless, he says, owned by Rupert Murdoch. I mean, a lot of people are starting to say Fox News is left, especially after they called, New Mexico early, and then they fired Tucker Carlson. Most people I know who actually tuned into Fox News, who would be considered middle or right, well, they've since stopped tuning in. I don't know how many people still tune into Fox News, but I mean, I read the business part of the website, but on average, I don't see them as a right-leaning company these days. And truth be told, we've seen internal documentation and internal instances of employees and activities at side Fox News that shows that, if anything, they're much more left-wing. But I partially digress. Ian Van Fleet says, "Communists will do anything for power. I mean anything," getting 1.1 thousand likes. Emergent Perspective said, "They want to give the entire country away to those who won't oppose them. If a majority of the American people disagree, they will replace the majority. They will keep going until an unstoppable force meets an immovable object. And it says, and it's a picture of a whole crowd, well, say a mob of people. Mostly peaceful crowd. They're all just, that's a whole road. But nevertheless, it says, people accused of trespassing into the capital are arrested, but those trespassing into the country are given $10,000 and free housing. Got 739 likes for that one. Dumb Joe says, buying his votes en masse like a true dictator, getting 354 likes. Run Dumb Libs says, quote, in addition to this, and it's Biden shaking the hands of people at the border, a cartoon, and it says, welcome and don't forget to vote Democrat, getting 913 likes. The artist was very generous to the people crossing the border. They are all jacked with six-pack abs and flannel shirts. See, Gretchen Smith says, if this is illegal, who will stop it? Getting 354 likes. TP says election being rigged in ways I could have never imagined, getting 686 likes. The Pickle Thistle says it's time for the Supreme Court to get highly involved and drop the hammer, not that Biden really cares though. Getting 792 likes. Now, that being said, the Supreme Court told Biden that he cannot forgive student loans, also known as the government paying them and stealing from your tax dollars to pay them off. Really just shifting the debt. The Supreme Court said that's not in the Constitution. You cannot do that. You do not have authority. And yet, the government continues to do it. Which, again, that's why one of the reasons why the cost of college keeps going up is a guaranteed loan. There's no incentive for them to cut the price. Nevertheless, we'll do a couple more here. Philip Anderson says Joe Biden is a dictator, getting 431 likes. Joe Public says this is illegal, but it feels like we are helpless to defend the Constitution and the rights of true Americans, getting 619 likes. Then we're going to go to Biden himself, and where he announces it. And this is from his ex-Twitter account, so it's probably Karine Jean-Pierre tweeting it, but nevertheless, Biden's account on Twitter, or X, says, quote, today I signed an executive order with the new actions to help families together. This new measures will clarify and speed up the work visas to help people, including dreamers who have graduated from American colleges and universities, land jobs in high demand, high skilled professions, and streamline the process for obtaining legal status for immigrants married to American citizens. Getting 1 million views, but only 8.7 thousand likes, one of his lowest ratings thus far that we've seen this year. Now, one of those things where if you marry someone, if you do the proper paperwork, then yeah, you would become a citizen. You don't need anything additionally, as far as I can tell, based on friends I've seen go through the process. It seems pretty redundant, and again, also incentivizing illegal behavior. Now, scrolling down, you see Paul Zazupa saying, quote, Joe Biden just signed a BS amnesty agreement for illegals because his polls are tanking and he's desperate for the bump. But don't worry, America. President Trump will undo Biden's amnesty for illegals day one. Pack your bags, illegals. And 1.6 thousand likes. Gunther Eagleman says, quote, today you chose illegal aliens over Americans, dipshit. Getting 3.2 thousand likes. And an A+ for vernacular. You don't hear dipshit enough. I haven't heard that in probably, middle school? It's been a long time since I heard that. And Wokeness says Laken Riley was a dreamer too, getting 10,000 likes. Wow. Do we make it 11,000 right here, right now? No. But I did like it nevertheless. Mark Hamill, we do have a contrarian statement. He simply says like because, again, Twitter now, or ex-Twitter, makes likes private. So if someone likes something, you don't see their name. So Mark Hamill is actually going viral by just typing the word like, which, again, helps people who follow him. And dude, I appreciate it because now we know Mark Hamill likes us. Which is not news. Mark Hamill likes everything Biden does. Literally everything. The irony. He joined the dark side of the Force. He's fighting for the Empire. The irony is quite hilarious. Truth be told, Mark Hamill is completely overrated. He had one good hit. And as we all know, his one good hit was Corvette Summer. A movie not just about the nice time of the year known as summer, but also includes the American muscle car known as the Corvette. Back then, it used to come with a stick shift, as all cars should have. That got 302 likes from Mark Hamill. And a memes gets an A+. They responded in meme form, which, again, usually is a 50-50 shot where they just respond in text, which is, again, a little disappointing. Memes are hilarious. Then you have I forget what the meme is called, but you have the gentleman who looks like he's dodging something. Then he's giving the thumbs up or approval. And it's the American workers, and it looks like some steel workers and with American flag, and Biden says, no. And then he has illegal immigrants, people crossing the border, and the Biden is smiling and pointing and yeah. They got 169 likes. I just gave them praise with Planet Memes. Now, Planet Memes did another post. Again, this time it's not a meme. And they simply say, quote, so what crime am I able to commit for a decade and get rewarded afterward? Getting 117 likes, which is a good question. Depends on your political affiliation, I would say. Let's see, scrolling down more and more. Tara Bull says, you are directly responsible for the deaths of all these women. Why won't you say their names? That includes Rachel Morin, Molly Tibbetts, Elizabeth Medina, Katie Style, Sarah Root, and Laken Riley. And apologies if I mispronounced any of them. That got 1.2 thousand likes. And they were all famously killed by illegals who are here. Which again, I'm not saying they're all violent. Just saying that we're seeing those instances happening more partially because the overall sample size is greatly increasing. We've never seen this rate or even this volume of people illegally enter the country in my lifetime. And this has been a political topic for decades. This is also why I'm so pessimistic on it actually getting solved, since people on the left and the right seem to use it to raise campaign funds because it's a very polarizing issue, though I don't think it should be. I think most Americans agree we need a path to citizenship for people who contribute to society, and it should be streamlined so that if someone wants to come from Germany or France or wherever, it shouldn't take years if they're a proper qualified candidate to actually come to the country. Because again, that also incentivizes people to illegally get in. So it also would help if you had a defense or anything to guard the southern border. And I think we also need to bolster the northern border, keep those communist Canadians out. And you also have national security issues with people coming across that border as well. Let's see here. Valentin Gomez says, families are being destroyed because illegals are killing and taking advantage of American girls. You are a traitor. Illegals deserve deportation, not representation. Getting 2.1 thousand likes. Joe Biden press release parody account says, found 6,000 more votes at the border today. There's a picture of a bunch of people climbing over the fence, crossing the border, getting 686 likes. Scrolling down more and more. Military Arms, one of my favorite YouTube channels, says, translated, I need Congress to do something until I decide to do it after 3.5 years of inaction and chaos. Now I'm using EUs to buy votes with our nation's security. Getting 221 likes. Let's see. ACA simply says, resign, we don't want you, getting 679 likes. So, again, a couple of people are sticking up for Joe. And again, politically speaking, not only will this might help him get illegal votes, but there are a lot of people, or a lot of American citizens who do believe in mass importation or mass illegal aliens being approved. And we've seen this methodology time and time again. Ever since I was a kid, you have people illegally enter the country, the government would give them amnesty, thereby incentivizing the behavior. So it happens again and again and again and again. It's one of the reasons I think we still see these issues continuing to come to the surface. Now, again, there's a huge issue at the border. That's one of the biggest issues that I think people care about this upcoming election. I don't know if this will actually, I think if anything, it's going to hurt them in the polls. And again, I understand there are people who want this as well, related to George Soros, but nevertheless, let me know in the comments. Do you think overall this will help Biden's poll numbers go up, or overall, do you think overall go down? And then what about the people illegally coming here and then he's going to screen amnesty? Will that overall if they become able to vote, will that put him all of a sudden ahead of the polls, thereby making this advantageous, even though it is, of course, unconstitutional? Let me know in the comments, because as always, it'd be fascinating to hear what you have to say. Thank you, everyone, for taking the time to tune in. Again, trying to get to 4,000 subscribers by the end of the month. So if you could click that button, I greatly appreciate it. Also, leaving a thumbs up, thumbs down, or comment is a great way to give me some additional feedback, letting me know how I can make the show better and better. Lastly, don't forget to take the time to tell your family, tell your friends, tell your coworkers, heck, tell your enemies, tell anyone and everyone. Just stay safe and fight the good fight.